Sabaidi. My name is Maddie Dope and I'm a filmmaker from Laos. I wanted to take you on a journey with me to BiFan in Bucheon, Korea, one of Asia's most prestigious and well-known genre film festivals. While I was traveling to BiFan, I got to discover so many things, but I discovered that while many of my friends and colleagues wanted to visit Laos or were super interested in coming to my own country, a lot of people were confused and intimidated by how the process would be for visiting Laos. And since I was able to go from Laos direct to Korea and back again to Laos through Laos Airlines, I wanted to share with all of you just how easy and simple and fun it is to visit Laos. I recall when I was traveling during the height of the pandemic in 2021 that it was so brutally complicated. There were just so many things that we required, and it was all time sensitive, from PCR tests to permissions to leave the country to permissions to enter the country that could only be done in very specific places like embassies. And every country had its own requirement that would change at the drop of a hat. And it was a very stressful situation. But now that Laos has opened completely, all I really needed to go to Korea was my passport, a plane ticket, and a visa or a K-ETA, and my vaccination certificate or vaccination card in English, and also a rapid test or an ATK test showing that I was negative. But the rapid test was very different from doing a PCR test. It was quick, it was not very expensive, and not every country will need it. But since I was going to Korea, let me share with you my experience of getting the rapid test and the proper documents for entering Korea. I discovered that there were multiple places that you could get a rapid test done within half an hour, basically. And the majority of them were walk-in, though I'm sure that there are some that require an appointment first. I chose a place called IMDC, which was off of Daesung Road or ASEAN Road. The cost was only 150,000 kip. It was so fast. We filled out a form, paid using either credit card, debit, OnePay, which is a QR code system widely used in Laos, or cash using Lao Kip. They gave us a receipt, and we just presented this receipt to the nurses after about 5 minutes or so. And they took us back, swabbed us, we waited, and as soon as the test result was ready, they gave us a certificate. And of course, a certificate will look different depending on whichever hospital or medical clinic that you've gone to. But for us, it was an A4 sized paper with the clinic name on top, our information, and the negative test result on the bottom, with the doctor's or nurse's signature and a stamp, an official stamp, confirming that we had a negative test result for COVID. All this was done seriously within 15-20 minutes. It was wonderful. And this is what we needed to present at the airport. So next, let's talk about what it was like to check into the airport for departure going to Korea. Getting to the airport and checking in wasn't a problem at all. In fact, I'd say it was pretty seamless. Everything was made a lot easier because I had already had my documents prepared in advance, just like we discussed. At the counter, I presented our passports and, of course, our plane tickets. And I had prepared this folder that had everything we needed in terms of documents. Our vaccine certificates and our rapid test showing a negative result. I love that she checked all of my documents before I even entered Korea, just to make sure everything was all right. We went up to immigration and filled out a departure card, and after that, got through security. Everything was pretty much normal after that. Also, just as a tip, in Asia, we still have mandatory mask requirements on planes, so don't forget to have your mask packed and ready for when you board. In true Lao style, everyone was so friendly and so helpful on Lao Airlines. I couldn't feel safer flying with them. They checked my ticket, helped me get to my seat, and before you knew it, I was ready to go. The flight was around 11 or 11:30 p.m. in the evening, and even so, we still got a snack. And there was, of course, the regular drink service. It made the flight even more comfortable. After our snack, we all went to sleep and woke up to a beautiful sunrise over the horizon in the skies. I just loved the view out my cabin window and seeing the colors out in the sky. Before we even landed, we were given the proper forms and documents that we needed to enter Korea. There was our entry form, as well as the travel declaration form. I would recommend that everyone fills these documents out before you touch down, just to make everything more efficient. After exiting the plane, I wasn't able to film or shoot most of the processes that we went through, for instance in immigration and also during our document check. But I do have to say that it could be a little bit confusing for many new arrivals. Immediately after departing, we got to an area where people in medical gear were checking all of our documents. If it's a little bit disorienting, just ask anyone wearing PPE uniforms or a white lab coat for help. They can tell you which line you're supposed to be in, and they all seem to speak English perfectly well. After they checked that we had our vaccine cards, they took our negative result test, and then we moved on to immigration, where we presented our passports, the documents that we filled out on the plane, confirmed our K-ETA visa, and also our address and phone number of where we were going to stay in Korea. After that, we exited, and then we were on our way to find where to take our PCR tests. We exited arrivals and arrived in Terminal 1. All we did was find door 10 and walk across the street to find the COVID-19 testing center on the west wing. It was actually super easy and convenient to get to, and we had already booked an appointment on safetogopass.com. So all we did was pay using our card, and then we had our tests done instantly. After that, we were out and ready to see Seoul as soon as we received our negative PCR test result, which came in only a few hours. So let's review all the things that we needed just to enter Korea. First, your passport with a valid K-ETA visa and plane ticket. Then your English vaccination certificate or vaccination card. And then a proof of negative rapid test within 24 hours of departure. And a negative PCR test on arrival. We don't need a mask anymore because we're outside. These are my friends. Hi from Korea. They're my personal tour guides. It's an amazing palace. 저 멀리 들려오는 파도 소리 벌써부터 쿵쿵 울리잖아 심장 소리 볼륨을 맥스로 올려줘 oh yeah 느껴봐 좀 더 빠르게 파란 하늘과 붉게 물든 정태양 눈부시게 빛나게 내 두 눈을 채워 Keep shining in my eyes. Endless moment, just like a dream. 구름 위에 올라가듯 달려가 저 높은 하늘 난 맞이해. Fly like a bird. 좀 더 빠르게 좀더 속도를 높여줘 baby 어서 닿고 싶어 see my sea 걱정 따위 모두 던져버려 저 푸른 바다 속에 I really wanna go to Laos.
It's a dream of me to go to Laos, and I would love to bring my wife and my daughter to go there.
Laos is a paradise.
I really want to go Bangbiang.
Wir möchten gerne nach Laos.
老挝，我想再来。
We want to visit Laos again.
I am dying to go back to Laos. Not only to see my friends, but also because I want to see the rest of the country.
I'm telling you, I'm going to Laos.
Laos. We're gonna go to Laos.